From the Diary of Bill Lowy, Saturday, 14 November. Today, during the conduct of a normal resupply mission, we were called to fly medic evac. We were given a set of coordinates and told to drop what we were doing and proceed at once. When we arrived at the battle area, we were joined by 2 other ships from the company. We carried 15 wounded ARVN who had been caught in an ambush. They had 16 others killed. Some of the ones that we picked up were beyond help. One of them only had battered pulp for legs. Another had half his face blown away by a grenade. This entry provides a harrowing look at the immediate aftermath of an ambush, highlighting the brutal reality of war that Popi encountered during a medical evacuation mission. During World War II, medical evacuation by air first emerged as a concept, though the practice remained limited. Fixed-wing aircraft were occasionally used to transport wounded soldiers, but evacuations were hampered by challenging terrain and logistical barriers. Ground transport, typically trucks and trains, continued to be the primary method for moving casualties. The Korean War marked a major shift with the introduction of helicopters like the Bell H-13 Sioux, which became iconic for its distinctive bubble canopy. The H-13 could airlift wounded soldiers to MASH, Mobile Army Surgical Hospital, units, offering quicker access to care and increasing survival rates. This war established helicopters as essential for casualty evacuation, even though early helicopters were still restricted to short-range missions. By the Vietnam War, helicopter technology had advanced, and the Huey revolutionized Medevac operations. Unlike earlier helicopters, it could carry multiple stretchers, medical personnel, and basic medical supplies, allowing medics to provide immediate care in flight. With over 7,000 Hueys deployed, they became lifelines for thousands, drastically improving survival rates by reaching the wounded within minutes. Medevac crews learned techniques like hot landings, where they rapidly descended, kept the engines running, and lifted off as soon as the wounded were loaded to minimize time on the ground. Missions involved not only the dangers of combat, but also the psychological toll of tending to catastrophic injuries as medics raced against time, knowing that every second mattered. The rescue teams relied on the golden hour, which is considered the first 60 minutes after injury and is a standard in emergency medical care. It is a crucial period where medical intervention can make the difference between life and death. Medevac helicopters like the Huey were vital in achieving the standard, boosting survival rates compared to previous conflicts. Since the Vietnam War, Medevac has continued to evolve, benefiting from technological advancements and the experiences of previous conflicts. Vietnam-era Medevac operations highlighted the critical role of helicopters in modern warfare, inspiring military and medical fields to improve equipment, training, and protocols. In the years following Vietnam, helicopters, such as the Black Hawk UH-60, replaced the Huey as a primary Medevac vehicle. The Black Hawk was faster, more heavily armored, and capable of carrying more patients and advanced medical equipment, which became especially relevant during conflicts in the Middle East, where distances were greater and conditions were more extreme than the jungles of Vietnam. In the Gulf War, Medevac teams faced the vast, open desert terrain where they needed longer-range, faster helicopters. The military had also enhanced onboard medical capabilities, equipping helicopters with defibrillators, advanced ventilators, and trauma kits that allowed medics to provide a higher level of in-flight care. Battlefield medicine was also transformed by the introduction of mobile surgical teams, allowing Medevac helicopters to transport wounded soldiers to fully equipped facilities in theater rather than relying solely on field hospitals. During the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, Medevac operations encountered both urban and mountainous environments. The harsh landscapes and high altitudes of Afghanistan required specially modified helicopters, such as the UH-60M Black Hawk, which had more powerful engines to handle thin air and difficult takeoff conditions. Night vision technology also became standard, enabling nighttime rescues in hostile areas while minimizing exposure to enemy fire. Medevac teams faced improvised explosive devices and ambushes, leading to innovative pre-mission planning and improvements in aircraft survivability. A significant advancement was the implementation of en route care, where medics began to provide intensive, near-hospital-level care while en route to medical facilities. For example, critical care flight paramedics are trained not only in trauma care, but in advanced interventions, such as administering blood transfusions mid-flight, intubating patients, and performing other life-saving measures previously only possible in hospitals. This specialized training arose from the need for prolonged patient stabilization during lengthy transports, especially in remote areas. Today's Medevac operations are highly coordinated, integrating satellite navigation, real-time communication, and tracking technologies that allow seamless coordination among medics, pilots, and receiving hospitals. Additionally, the development of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, for casualty evacuation is underway, promising a future where drones might handle basic evacuation roles in high-risk zones, reducing the need to send crews into immediate danger. Civilian emergency services worldwide have adopted military medevac practices, enhancing urban and rural rescue operations with specialized air ambulance services equipped with nearly the same technology and trauma care procedures as the military. The photo I chose for today was one Popi seems to have taken from his pilot's seat. It shows a man laying on the floor of the helicopter. He's bandaged up and wincing in pain. He appears to be an ARVN soldier. Clearly, they're in the process of a medical evacuation. Popi still found time to take a picture, though. I'm Alex Lowy, and I hope you have enjoyed listening to this episode of Dearest Suzie, and receiving messages from the past that my Popi wrote exactly 60 years ago. I sincerely appreciate your time and interest. Please consider following the podcast on your preferred platform, and if you're enjoying it, I kindly ask that you take the time to rate the show and leave a review. Also, please follow the project on YouTube, X, and Instagram. All likes, comments, shares, and reviews will help grow the reach of this story. The links for these things should be in the description of this episode. Please feel free to email me at dearestsuziepodcast@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to say. I'd love to chat or to hear about your stories as well. Thank you for listening, and God bless.